industry wise, like alright, I'm gonna say rappers for sure. You got me like really taking their time out to sit down and write like good men like Lil Baby, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dirk, this overstood. This like bruh, like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He ain't missing a beat out shit. Yeah, y'all familiar with Don Trip?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Don Trip is.
Don Trip Starlito. Don Trip just wrote me a letter the other day.
The rap game has always had its legends artists who take their time, sharpen their pen, and carve their place into the culture with precision. Names like Lil Baby, Don Trip, and others become the examples young rappers study, the ones who show what it means to take the craft seriously. But few stories in recent years have carried.
Guaranteed. Nothing.
I talked to your father, my boss, one day. He called me. He was like, because I check on you all the time. I was like, what's up with Pooh? He was like, man, Pooh locked down a couple cats that got killed in the joint. Got killed in Victorville.
As much weight, tension, and uncertainty as the one surrounding Trail Donald Williams Jr., better known to the culture as Pooh Shiesty. When he stepped out of federal prison in October 2025 after nearly 3 long years behind bars, the outside world felt colder and more unpredictable than the concrete walls he left behind. Freedom didn't erase the history he walked in with. If anything, it made the stakes higher. The streets never forget, and payback doesn't schedule appointments. It appears unannounced. People close to him felt it too. Old associates called, checking in, speaking about who was locked up, who had died in federal yards like Victorville, and who still held grudges. Even that viral moment of him dropping to one knee during a clip had the whole city watching closely, wondering what his next move would be. The Memphis Most Wanted aura trailed him out of those gates on October 7th after serving roughly 3 years of his original 63-month sentence from that 2020 Miami hotel fiasco, thanks to First Step Act credits and good behavior. He shaved off almost 2 full years from what should have been a July 2027 release date. An impressive reduction that kept his rise from completely derailing. And instead of coming home to the wild, dangerous energy of big welcome parties that attract attention from enemies and the law alike, he played it smart. Within hours, he linked with Carbon and Big 30, heading straight to the studio like he had never missed a beat. But the buzz around his return escalated fast. And with hype comes heat questions about
Every drug, everything in pill form, all the drink, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's completely over me. It's like I'm trying to, my vision ain't clouded no more. Like I'm going forward, going towards my full potential.
My little brother sitting this shit playing in this, man. My little brother done been driving it, man. I don't do this, man. Come on, man. I don't want to drive this.
loyalty, street politics. And whether the old problems were still waiting in the shadows, that's because the same 2019 to 2021 run that skyrocketed his name also stacked up enemies who didn't forget the bars, the posts, the street moves, or the rising influence he carried. Coming home meant stepping from a controlled environment into a city where situations flip in seconds, where rap beefs bleed into real-life danger, and where headlines can shift to rip posts overnight. Too many artists, Pop Smoke, Young Dolph, PNB Rock, Takeoff, King Von had fallen victim to setups.
I was on everything, every drug, everything in pill form, all the drink, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's completely over me. It's like I'm trying to, my vision ain't clouded no more. Like I'm going forward, going towards my full potential.
Jealousy, or sudden ambushes. Nobody wanted Pooh Shiesty to become another tragedy. For years before his incarceration, he had drowned himself in drugs, drinking heavily and numbing everything with pills. Prison forced him to detox, forced him to think deeply. He talked often about how sobriety cleared his vision and pushed him toward his full potential, revealing the difference between confidence and recklessness. But the path that led him behind bars was chaotic from the start. His legal trouble exploded on October 20th, 2020, when what should have been a simple sneaker and marijuana purchase outside the Landon Hotel in Bay Harbor Islands turned into armed robbery and gunfire. He arrived in a rented white McLaren 720, flashy, loud, and suspiciously bold, holding a Draco-style AK pistol, while his associate Bobby Brown carried a handgun. When the seller allegedly tried to short them, things spiraled. Williams fired, hitting one man in the buttocks and another in the hip, then fled. During the escape, a Louboutin bag containing nearly $4,700 flew out of the McLaren, later recovered by police along with shell casings matching the shots fired. Surveillance footage, fingerprints, license plate cameras, and social media posts painted a damning picture. Incredibly, Williams posted a video, hours later, in the same McLaren flashing money, prosecutors described as consciousness of guilt. As federal prosecutors began stacking charges: conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery, possession of a firearm during a violent crime, and discharging a firearm during a violent act, the situation grew grim. Just one of those charges carried a mandatory minimum of 10 years, and combined, the maximum penalty was life. Judge Edwin G. Torres denied bond on July 7, 2021, declaring Williams both a flight risk due to his income and lifestyle and a danger to the community based on the reckless way he used firearms in public. That decision pulled him from the peak of his emerging career, canceling performances and stopping momentum that had been building rapidly. But his legal troubles deepened further with the infamous King of Diamonds incident on May 30th, 2021. After performing at the legendary strip club, chaos erupted when a man bumped into him, causing between $3,000 and $40,000 in cash, depending on the witness, to spill from his pocket. The crowd lunged for the cash. Security tried to intervene. In the panic, Williams was accused of pulling a gun and firing a shot that struck a guard named Dora in the ankle. Surveillance video allegedly captured him waving the weapon as the crowd scrambled. Prosecutors charged him with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, which carried up to 30 years. Initially granted bond, he lost it days later when prosecutors emphasized his pending federal case. Yet the case took a dramatic turn when Dora signed an affidavit weeks later claiming medication had confused him, and that he had not been shot at, alonely trampled in the chaos. Prosecutors suspected possible witness tampering, but couldn't prove it. Though the witness recanted, the video evidence and statements still weighed heavily. Everything eventually merged into one major plea agreement. On January 4, 2022, Williams pled guilty to a reduced charge of conspiring to possess firearms in furtherance of violent crimes and drug trafficking under Title 18 U.S.C. 924-0. Miraculously, it wiped out the 10-year mandatory sentence, eliminated the robbery charges, and folded the strip club incident into the plea without adding extra time. It was a strategic legal victory that prevented a potential 20-plus year sentence. On April 20, 2022, Judge K. Michael Moore sentenced him to 63 months, giving him credit for the 10 months he had already served, along with 3 years of supervised release. His restrictions were strict: mandatory check-ins, drug testing, employment requirements, travel approvals, firearm bans, no contact with victims, and stays away from certain Miami locations. He was also ordered to pay $156,571 in restitution covering medical bills, lost wages, pain claims, and property damage. His prison journey took him through USP Pollock in Louisiana, FCI Talladega in Alabama, and USP Coleman II in Florida. Despite experiencing violence, fights, stabbings, and inmate death, C managed to remain focused. He earned his ASVAB certification, completed First Step Act programs dealing with decision-making and cognitive shifts, worked recreation yard supervision jobs. The First Step Act turned out to be a blessing, allowing him to earn recidivism reduction credits and cut his sentence significantly. The lockdown lifestyle forced sobriety, which he later credited for sharpening his mind and calming his once reckless tendencies. Despite the instability around him, he avoided major disciplinary issues that could have destroyed his early release eligibility. Throughout his incarceration, he stayed in touch with family and industry allies. Rappers like Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Don Tripp, Alto, and Gucci Mane supported him through letters, calls, and public acknowledgement. Even behind bars, his music thrived. Over 2 billion Spotify streams piled up, a testament to his staying power. His voice, his grit, and his Memphis authenticity resonated. His breakout hit Back in Blood with Lil Durk, released November 5, 2020, became a cultural earthquake, 8 times platinum, over 1 billion streams, and a top 15 Billboard peak. Durk's iconic line, "Pooh Shiesty, that's my dog, but Pooh, you know I'm really shiesty," became a stamp of identity for Williams. Social media exploded on the song's 5-year anniversary in November 2025, celebrating a track that still rattled blocks and clubs everywhere. His other hits, Shiesty Summer with Chief Keef and Durk, Backdoor, Pooh Shiesty with Big 30, Guard Up with 21 Savage stacked platinum plaques and hundreds of millions of streams each. His mixtape Shiesty Season hit number 3 on the Billboard 200 and went gold, proving he wasn't just a singles artist but a full project heavyweight. His feature on Drake's Wants and Needs peaked at number 2 and drew praise for outperforming Drake on his own track. Even while locked up, he had 5 times platinum records like Lifestyle with Lil Baby and 21 Savage, along with additional gold and platinum singles that kept his name alive. By 2025, he had accumulated more than 20 RIAA certifications and over 2 billion streams, placing him among the most successful breakout artists during one of the toughest years for music. But success attracts danger as much as admiration. In Memphis, a city plagued with violent crime, retaliatory street culture, and deeply rooted grudges, the risks never disappeared. Williams' history of using violence when threatened created a reputation that some found intimidating and others considered a challenge. For some rivals, striking first felt like a defensive move, a way to eliminate a perceived threat before things escalated. That mixed with the ever-present risk of robbery, setups, and opportunistic predators looking to take advantage of fame, jewelry, and luxury vehicles. For young black men with deep neighborhood ties who suddenly rise into fame and money, the danger isn't hypothetical, it's constant. Whether Williams ever pleaded for protection is unclear, but the threats around him are undeniably real. Social media comments, old videos, past lyrics, and neighborhood politics linger, echoing even after years behind bars. His release on October 7, 2025, marked the beginning of a new chapter, but also activated a countdown, with supervised release running until April 2028. Every choice he makes will determine whether the lessons he claims to have learned are real or temporary. The symbolic timing is released so close to the 5-year anniversary of Back in Blood creates a powerful contrast between his explosive rise and the uncertainty of his future. Now, he stands at a crossroads more precarious than any moment before. Redemption or destruction, success or tragedy. Discipline or old habits, everything hinges on the decisions he makes moving forward. Memphis is watching, the industry is watching, and even his rivals are watching. Whether his story becomes one of rare transformation or another heartbreaking loss in a culture that's seen too, many will depend entirely on how he navigates the pressures, temptations, and dangers waiting outside the studio doors.